what's up? It's Sean Baligian.
What up? This is Joique here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, what's the word? This is the Woodward Sports Network, and you're watching the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods filling in for Sean Baligian, and right here we got the main man.
What up, though? So, what's up, guys? Joique Bell here, and we're here with another beautiful Wednesday morning. But it's not just any Wednesday. It is a What Up, Though Wednesday. And for the people who don't know, have you been doing What Up Though Wednesdays when I've been going? Because I know I kind of took that away when I went through my contract negotiations.
When you were going to your contract negotiations, nobody was trying to be in breach, so we left the What Up Though Wednesdays alone.
Okay, thank you.
We already did enough by being on the show. We ain't trying to steal your thunder now.
All right, thank you.
All right,
thank you.
Hey man, we got a great show planned for everybody. Man, it's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, and first thing we got to start off with is your Detroit Lions. And in some of these mock drafts, they have Justin Fields from Ohio State falling to the Lions at number 7. I personally, I'm on the fence about getting a quarterback right now. I know his pro day when he ran that 4.4 to 40-yard dash, one of the fastest ones since RG3. What are you feeling about Justin Fields first, and then after
that?
Do
I like Justin Fields as a quarterback in college? Yes.
Okay.
Do I think he's going to pan out in the NFL? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, you don't want to be the bearer of bad news?
No. I've never seen a quarterback from Ohio State come into the NFL and be successful. I haven't seen it. If you guys have seen a quarterback from the Ohio State University come into the NFL and have a successful career, please put it in the comments.
Now, you know what? I used to have that same notion. I used to always talk to people. Yeah, I'm like they don't do well.
You know, and then for me, he had a great. I'm not taking anything away from him, but when he had adversity, when he was playing through, I'm not going to say the injuries. When he was playing hurt, right? Because there's a difference between playing hurt and playing with an injury. Playing with an injury, you're not playing, you're injured. Playing through, those aches, those pains. When I saw him playing that national championship game, I didn't see the fight that I wanted to see in an NFL quarterback. I didn't see it when they play Alabama. I didn't see it. So for that reason, I don't. You come to Detroit, our whole culture and tradition here is to have that grit, that toughness. Like a Matthew Stafford, he had that grit, he had that toughness. He played through a lot of nicks and bruises throughout his entire career. Things that, the things that Justin Fields, when he played, you can tell.
He wasn't about that.
Yeah, you can tell he was playing. He was trying to play through some pain. You can tell he was trying, but the thing is, when you try to play at that level, but you still can't make plays. You can't make things happen. Like I've seen Matthew Stafford. He played hurt. He played through some nicks and bruises, but he was still able to go out there and make plays day in, day out. He was able to. I didn't see that from Justin Fields in that national championship game, and that's when you get to that level, you putting everything on the line.
Now, I agree with you. I saw a lot of the same things, but the thing about it is, when I say Ohio State quarterbacks generally do not do well, I get a lot of flack. Oh, you can't put Justin Fields in the same sentence as a Troy Smith or a Terrell Pryor or a Cardale Jones. They're not this. It's unfair. It's a case-by-case scenario. But when you see so many Ohio State quarterbacks do not pan out in the league, it's almost like it's a tradition of that program. It's like how they each coach. It's a culture.
It's basically. Are you saying it's the way that Ohio State developed these quarterbacks?
Yes. It seems like they developed them great for the college game, but they don't. Their skills in the college game do not translate over well to the pros, and people say that it's unfair to label Justin Fields with those same quarterbacks. How do you feel about that?
But why do you feel they say that though? But why? What makes him different?
A lot of people are saying Justin Fields' makeup is like he's faster, more of a playmaker than those previous athletes, and I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I will say I can't even say he's really bigger because Cardale Jones is a big guy.
Yeah.
So I don't mean.
Do I like him? Do I like him coming to Detroit? I think he's a good quarterback. I think a team is going to like him. He's going to get an opportunity. Obviously, he's going to get an opportunity. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. Do I think we need him here? I don't think we need him here. If I'm sitting in that front office, I'm looking at all of his attributes as a quarterback, and the thing that you can't test, right, in the combine, you can't test it at a pro day, is something called grit, which is, in our book, we call heart, right? And I'm not saying he doesn't have heart, but what I saw in that national championship game, the game where you should lay everything out on the line, I just didn't see it from him that game. I think he was playing safe. He didn't want to get hurt anymore. He knew he was going to the NFL, so, hey, I'm going to chill. Do we want that at the end of the season when, I'll give you a perfect example, when Matthew Stafford was playing against the Browns? I think this might have been 2011 when they had no opportunity to even make it into the playoffs, but went down, I think dislocated his shoulder, took a hard hit, and could have said, you know what,
could have packed it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack it in. I'm out. I'm hurt. I'm injured. And went back out there, threw the winning touchdown pass. They told him to sit down. He said, "No, I can throw if you need me to throw." He told, and this is his words, not mine. He told the trainers, "Man, get the fuck off me. Get off me." You know what I'm saying? I'm going back in. And went back in the game, threw the game-winning touchdown. It came off the field and told his teammates, "Don't hit me. I appreciate it. Don't hit me. It's my arm. I can't." You know?
Yeah.
And that's the type of leadership we leave at our quarterback position here. I don't see that in Justin Fields. I don't see. I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
You know what's interesting? You say that. I agree with you. I don't see it in Justin Fields, but you know who I do see it in? See it in the guy a lot of people don't like, Jared Goff. The guy just won a game with a broken thumb. He went out there and he played and he showed his grit and he showed his toughness. Yeah. And a lot of people do not like him. And he's not. He hasn't even touched the field yet.
No. We're not saying we don't like him.
No, not you, but
there's people. And, you know, you can't say you don't like him. All right, the guy that been to the Super Bowl, he was one playoff game. He's done all that. I'm not saying that we don't like him. What I'm saying is, I don't think he's going to be the quarterback that leads us to the promised land.
Now
that's what I'm saying.
That's former NFL player Joique Bell, who understands the game, saying, I'm talking about that. These fans in these Facebook groups on social media, they're talking about this guy like he's Mitchell Trubisky.
Hey, and I understand that. Good morning, Jenna. I want to send a shout out to Jenna. Always showing love. And then I always have to get a shout out to my Grammy Whammy. She chimes in every single show.
That's love.
Her and my grandfather, they have their two lazy boy couches that they sit back and they relax in every single show, right? And so they come home. She said, "I look forward to your show every single day. I get to see you for 2 hours. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?"
we all need a Grammy Whammy.
We all. Hey, so shout out to Grammy Whammy. What up, Grandpa? But yeah, so I like Jared Goff as. I want to see what he does this year. He doesn't have much to work with right now.
Yeah.
But we can still. We might have some sleepers. The draft is still coming. We're trying to build in the draft. We'll see what we get in the draft, but we have to build around him if we want him to be successful. So as of right now, I don't care who's back there. I mean, we lost our top receivers, and so I think who do we have now? What, Cephas?
Yeah, right now the Lions receivers are Cephas, Tyrell Williams, and Bashar Perriman.
Yeah, so we got to get some more people around him.
So, Joique Bell, you're in the Lions war room, and the number 7 pick is coming up.
Yes.
What do you do with that pick? With me, here's what I'm hoping. Now that the Carolina Panthers have traded for Sam Darnold, I still think that the Broncos will be in the market for a quarterback. I'm hoping that the Lions somehow and the Broncos do some business where they trade back and then let the Broncos go ahead and move up. And if Fields is there, let the Broncos go ahead and take him. Lions take a couple steps back and get the guy they need to get. Hopefully a Michael Parsons is still available on the board.
So you just want more draft picks then? You want us to drive back and get more draft picks?
Yes, unless a Penei Sewell or a Kyle Pitts is available at 7. If Justin Fields is there, I would trade back.
What about? So you don't like Smith? You don't like Devontae?
I'm not a big fan of Devontae Smith.
Are you a fan of Waddle?
Yes.
All right. So if he's there, would you take him? I'll think about it long hard because I like that. I mean, that's who I like.
Okay. Here's the thing. I don't think that. You know what? Because I don't know if now that the Panthers got him, they might go ahead and get a wide receiver. Interesting scenario.
Think about it.
I might take a chance. I would take a chance on Jalen Waddle before I take a chance on Devontae Smith.
I said that too. And why is that though? Is it because the size factor? Is it because
it's not just the size factor? I believe that when I'm watching footage of Jalen Waddle, I think his speed is scary. It is so dangerous that he's just gonna, when he hits that corner, it's a wrap. You're not getting them, and I also do like.
So that's what you like about him. Then you like him that he can go 0 to 100
real quick
in a split second.
Yes.
All right. So his ankle injury, that doesn't bother you at all?
Not that much.
Not that much.
No.
All right. So you put $1 million, or you paying millions of dollars to this kid to come in. And you're not at all worried about his injury.
I'm gonna say at all. I'm just saying if he looks good when I'm working him out, I will go ahead and draft.
And that's my only issue.
Yeah.
With getting Waddle, that's my only issue because I really like the kid, but I've had those ankle injuries and I know how they can affect you. And I know how they can linger. Even after you get surgery and you try to bounce back, sometimes those same injuries can come back later on in your career. I've had that before. And so I just know how that affected me as a player. So I would worry about that with him. If I'm in that front office, I'm sitting in that war room, I want to take a deep dive into his health. His character, I have no issues with his character, right? But it's the health. That's it. And then I would definitely take a chance with him. That's who I like, especially seeing what he was able to do early on in the season before the injury. So
now, the one guy's name who was kind of went cold during the draft, he was really high.
Hold on. I want you to hold on to that.
Okay.
We got to take a quick break. But before we go, I want to talk about Northwestern Tech.
Oh, what you got?
Start a new career in a new industry that is always essential. The heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Yo, what's going on?
What up, though? It's Joique Bill here with the Baligian and Bell Show on this beautiful What Up, Though Wednesday morning. Before we went on break, we had some interesting information coming from Kory, just talking about who went cold in the draft. And I'm very interested to hear who went cold.
Penei Sewell. His name seemingly went cold. He was pretty much locked in to go to the Bengals if available.
Yeah.
I guess since they got Riley Reef, people are kind of scratching him off and thinking he may slide down. I'm of the mindset that if he slides down to number 7, the Lions should draft him at all costs. Like I said, him or Pitts for me are at all costs. Draft either one of those.
So hold up, but if they're both there, then who you grabbing?
They're both there.
What do we need help the most?
I think we need help most at wide receiver. So I would draft Pitts because even though they say he's a tight end, even though you can just wide receiver Kyle Pitts because just from what I've seen.
So Pitts over Waddle.
I would say if Pitts is available, hell yeah.
Yeah, Pitts over Waddle.
Most definitely.
Okay. So you think he's more of an explosive player than Waddle?
Yes.
I think he's more. I think he's more versatile than Waddle.
Explosive. Like as far as that speed, no. But as far as like game, like football speed,
I'm saying I think he's more versatile.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to say he's a more explosive player. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, but he is more versatile, and they're both huge playmakers. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. But this is one of those situations to where if you were to get, say we were to get Pitts, and then Waddle goes, goes wherever, and Waddle have one of those OBJ careers, he has one of those type of careers, and Pitts kind of fizzles out, right? Or he has a similar career here to like Eric Ebron, where Eric Ebron left here and then he became who we wanted him to be here, right? And say he has one of those type of careers, then what do you think happens here? What do you think happens with that front office here? Or we have an opportunity to go grab, say, a guy like Aaron Donald, we pass up on him, and then he has the type of career that we wanted Eric Ebron to have here. So it's things like that to where we have to go out. We have to just draft talent. Draft talent and let the coaches figure out how we can make these guys be successful on this team. Go out here and get talent. Just grab talent.
Now, I've seen one scenario where, I've seen one scenario where they have the Lions drafting Sewell at 7, and then they go and get a wide receiver in the second or third round.
That's fine.
And some of the receivers that I've seen going in the second or third round is like a Terrace Marshall for LSU.
What do you like most about Sewell?
About Sewell?
Yeah.
I just feel that he's a generational talent. I feel that he's just going to really help out that front line because the line is they said it's a strong suit, but I mean,
it is, but we still need to build it. The game is going to be won. What people don't realize is, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. It doesn't matter how good your linebackers are. It doesn't matter how good your DBs are. It doesn't matter how good your running back is. The game is not won there. The game is won in the trenches. Period. Right, period. If your D-line is not getting to the quarterback and the quarterback can sit back in the pocket and pick you apart, Mitchell Trubisky can sit back in the pocket and pick you apart. He did it against the Lions. All right. He did it against us. All right? And he's not a top-tier quarterback at all in this league. All right? Second string at best. At best. All right? If you can give a quarterback time in the pocket to make plays, he's going to have some success.
Okay.
He's going to have some success. We always need to have depth at the O-line and D-line. When we had success in 2014, we had depth at that D-line when they had a historical year at defense, holding teams to around 65 yards a game in rushing. Throughout the entire year, right? Shutting down teams in the run, allowing the linebackers to drop back in coverage versus coming up and blitzing in the run game because they can get to the quarterback, or dropping them back in the pass game because the defense can bring the pressure without having to bring a blitz, and you have another guy back in coverage. That's hard to find in this league, and when you look at defenses that are having success, they usually have a good front seven. It's usually what it is. So that's my take on it. You let me know. So I like bringing in Sewell. I think that'd be a good pick, but I also like Waddle, and we keep talking about Pitts, but I don't think Pitts is going to be there.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream. I think since that pro day, Pitts is probably going to go pretty high. I know when we had Scott Bischoff on there, he thought that Jamar with Riley Reif going to the Bengals, he thought that the Bengals might go ahead and look in the direction of a Jamar Chase, so that because of that, that report that Joe Burrow and Chase already have from the LSU connection. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a possibility that they pass over Sewell if he's there, and knowing that they need to protect Joe Burrow?
I don't think they're going to pass up on him because they invested too much money into Burrow. And he's playing well. I like Burrow. I like the type of energy he brings to that team. I like his grit. I like his toughness, and I like his swagger out there. Like he goes out there, he feels he's the best person on the field. He feels he's going to make a play, and I think that energy goes off into the other players. So when you have a guy like that, you have to protect him. I don't think they're going to pass up on him. But if we're going to talk about quarterbacks, the quarterback that I do like, right? I like Trey Lance, man. I like him. I know some people.
A lot of people are not high on him.
Huh?
A lot of people are not high on him because of his footwork and his mechanics.
His mechanics are off, right? His mechanics are off. We talked about it. He does have wasted motions. He does, but it's things that he can work on, and the things that I think when he comes to the league, like they'll get corrected. He'll have to correct them to have some success. But I'm not looking at just that. I'm looking at the overall of what Trey Lance can bring to a team. Mm-hmm. Like that mobility, that toughness, that put my head down, but I got to go get it, I'll go get it. The thing he's going to have to learn is just how to protect himself. Knowing when to take the hits, knowing when not to take the hits, knowing when to slide. Those are the things he's going to have to learn in the NFL because those hits are going to add up after a while. And never should you go down or take a hit with dipping your throwing shoulder. But he's not afraid to do that, and it's been documented and been well documented. I just like his toughness.
Now, you said you were, mixed on Fields because of the things the intangibles that you witnessed out of him. Let's say Fields is already gone, but Trey Lance is the quarterback that falls, and he's there to the Lions at number 7. Yeah. What do you do? Do you still?
I mean, if we want to go get a quarterback, and Trey Lance is there at 7, and we want a quarterback more than a receiver, I would say grab Trey Lance. Okay. I would say that. All right, I would say that if the other quarterbacks are gone, Trey Lance is there. I like Trey Lance more than Justin Fields. I do. I mean, and I'm not talking about just production on the field. I'm just talking about overall as a player and just me being able to see. There's certain things you see as a player that, as a regular fan, they might not see it. Just by watching the game and seeing the game and seeing certain things, you run it down the sideline, you see a person run out of bounds, or you see a person say, no, I'm not about to run out of bounds because I see you. I see you, you gonna see me. So let's meet up on the sideline. So it's things like that I see in the game where I say, wow, okay, I like that guy toughness. I like it. Now it's a time for everything, but it's just certain things I saw to Trey Lance that I really appreciated as a player. Now as a quarterback with the techniques and all of those things, yes, he needs some work with it. He does, but I think with his skill set, he'll have some success in this league, right? And it'll be up to him. But
hey, well, we're definitely gonna see. I think the Lions they're in a very sweet spot with this number 7 pick because there are so many different directions that they can go in where they can improve the team. I think the only wrong pick that they can make in this scenario is drafting another cornerback in the top 10 with that number 7 pick. But outside of that, I think, if they go with any of the guys that we talked about, they can move forward and add some immediate pieces to win. Maybe not the quarterback. They'll probably have to sit under golf for about a year or two, but with the other pieces like a Pitts, a Waddle, a Smith, or even a Sewell.
And that's going to be another interesting conversation that we can have, right? Mm-hmm. Say we go out and we get a quarterback. Right. Say we go out and get a Trey Lance. It doesn't matter about his techniques right now because he's not going to be starting. This is what we should have did with Matthew Stafford. We should have drafted a quarterback then so they can play under Stafford, so they can learn the game.
That's what I wanted from last year. It was not to cut you off, but it wasn't revisionist history. It's not revisionist history. Last year, I wanted the Lions to get Justin Herbert. I did. I said I felt the writing was on the wall where Stafford was going to be out. Maybe not. I didn't think he was going to be out this soon, but maybe after next season. And then boom, Justin Herbert would have been right there learning under Stafford everything that he needed to know, and he would have been ready to go. You got your quarterback for the next decade right there. That was, but they didn't. Here we are. I do like the idea of drafting Rant instead of Fields. It's just certain things that I saw.
Yes,
He just looks like a competitor.
Yes, that's what it is.
And that's what I just saw. Everything else, he's going to be learning under Goff for 2 years.
Who has already been to multiple playoff games. He's been to a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to get there. He knows the preparation. And we have him for 2 years, right?
Yep.
And then not only we have him for 2 years, but one thing that we were complaining about that we got corrected was his hit on the salary cap. And then we made a great move in the front office by doing what?
Restructuring that deal.
By restructuring that deal.
Created $15 million in cap.
In cap space to go out and get more players to surround him to be more successful. And now we have more money to go out, get more talent, more players. We can bring in a quarterback like Trey Lance if this is a quarterback that we see in the future being a part of this soon-to-be great football tradition culture here with the Detroit Lions. Right? So it's going to take time, but you got to think about it. When Aaron Rodgers got drafted, how long did he play under Brett Favre before he got his opportunity to play?
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Didn't start till his 4th year.
It didn't start till his 4th year. I want you guys to understand that. He sat under one of the greats for 3 years and was able to learn from him.
Just imagine this stats if he didn't play
Right.
after 3 years.
All right. And so you have a guy that can come in, be under a good quarterback. I'm not going to call Joique great, but a good quarterback. A guy that has had success in this league, that can show you how to be a pro, to help you with your techniques, to give you parts of the game that some coaches just can't give you because they're just not
equipped.
They're just not in there. It's certain things that I learned at running back that not one coach ever taught me. All right, I have a special stiff arm, a very special.
I've heard you talk about that stiff arm before.
A very special stiff arm that was never taught to me, ever, and it has never failed me one time, and I'm only giving it to one person. That was it. I gave it to my nephew. That's the only person I gave it to.
Appropriate.
And he used it in the game, and it worked. And he scored like a 20-something yard touchdown by using the stiff arm by using that stiff arm. And it came to the sidelines, and the first thing he said was, he looked in the stand. He found me. Uncle Joique, I used it, Uncle Joique. I said, shh. I know you used it. We'll talk about it after the game. We won't tell nobody. But it's things like that, right, that you have guys come into the locker room. You want them to have some success. And on their way out, and even while they're there, when you're going out there, they're going to give you tips on how you can help elevate your game with things that you can't learn in the classroom. All right? So I like him. I like bringing him in. I love Trey Lance. I love his competitiveness. I love what he brings to the field. I love what he brings to the team. And he's a different quarterback from Goff as well.
Yeah.
Right, he's a different quarterback.
And it's also, he fits what Dan Campbell said that he wanted. Their reports are out there before they had their pro days that Dan Campbell wanted a mobile quarterback.
That's what he likes.
That's what he wants, and that's the way the league is going. So,
and that's another good thing that Dan Campbell can get this guy coming in and be able to work with him for the next 2 years, right? Before he even gets the opportunity to go out there, and he's going to make sure he's in the best position to be successful. Real quick, I want to take it to the aquarium. I want to take it to the aquarium. Hey, Fish, do you have a read for us today?
Sure. You want to go over my bookie?
Hey, let's talk about my
You want to
bookie.
learn how to bet with the pros?
I know nothing about betting.
Oh, well,
go ahead, educate me.
I will educate you very well, Joique Bell, on this What Up Though Wednesday. My bookie, it's time to start winning free money from my bookie when you sign up with the promo code Woodward. They have all the games, and you can bet anywhere you want to. Parlay, straight, against the spread. They have thousands of lines and prop bets on all the games. Do yourself a favor signing up today with promo code Woodward, and they'll match your free deposit halfway up to $1,000. That's free cash credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. The best part is you have all the access whether you're on the go or at home. Visit the website online or on your phone at mybookie.ag and use the promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
All right, yo, welcome back. This is the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods here with Joique Bell, and let's go to the people. Let's see what they talking about. Regarding this draft conversation. Let's see what we got right here.
So let's start. So Trevor Bowl on YouTube. I was high on Herbert too. I know that was your guy. That's who you like. What did you like about him though?
He just seemed like he was okay. He kind of reminded me of Stafford a little bit as far as just like, how you moved in the pocket, bigger guy, doesn't necessarily have the same type of arm as Stafford, but something similar. He just had a really good feel for me. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I'm not going to sit up and say he was a better thrower than
So the next quarterback, you said he could have been our next quarterback for the next decade, but you couldn't put your finger on why you liked him. Good job, Kory. We need you in the war room. We need you in the war room, Kory.
I mean, honestly, it was just his throwing mechanics. I loved how he moved in the pocket. His accuracy was on point. He didn't, like I said, he didn't have Stafford's big arm, but I felt that his accuracy was just like top notch, and we've seen it. He was World Rookie of the Year.
All right, so you say he reminds you of Stafford, right?
As far as just his build.
All right. But what made Stafford successful? It's two things. It's two things that made him successful. Kind of three, but
Deep ball.
It was his grit, it was his toughness, and it was his arm talent.
Yep.
All right. It was also he had Aaron Rodgers, Patty Mahomes. He had their arm. He had that type their type of arm talent, right? He was the sidearm throw before there was a sidearm throw, right? The no look. He was the no look sidearm throw. I remember him throwing me a pass in the flats. I was doing a flare route, and for people who don't know what a flare route is, it's just you run straight out the backfield, right, just straight to the right or to the left, right into the flats. And I stopped running. He wasn't looking at me at all, and so I was just kind of jogging because I was getting too close to the sideline, and he's looking over here and sidearm a bullet to me. I ended up he threw it down by my shin, but I turned around. I don't know how I caught it, but I caught it, and it took me out of bounds. And I came back. I said, I didn't know you were throwing me the ball. He said, yeah, I was throwing it away. I didn't expect you to catch it. I didn't expect you to catch it. But he does that all the time and is accurate with it, and very accurate. I mean, that what made him special. I don't think Herbert has that Stafford he's gonna have a good career. He's gonna play a while in this league, but I don't think he was our quarterback of the future.
He could have been a good. He could have been
a good quarterback.
He could have been a good quarterback. I don't want to say he's gonna be like this generational talent. You said he was a generational. No, I said he's a good. I said he could have been a quarterback for the next decade. Okay, generational talent.
You said Kyle Pitts was a generational talent.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts. I think. Yeah. Kyle Pitts and Penei Sewell. I believe those two.
Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, I don't want to misquote you. I don't want to misquote you on here.
Yeah, but Field now Trey Lance. I think that he could. Don't want to say generational talent. I think he could become one of the better mobile quarterbacks off of his size and his speed. Just if he learns and gets his mechanics right, I believe he could be that. I don't know where to kind of rank him just yet. I want to see what he does. But I would love to see him in Detroit. But speaking of mobile quarterbacks, got to get into Deshaun Watson.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so
Let's get into it.
Deshaun Watson, apparently now the sexual allegation lawsuits are up to 22. Yesterday, Anthony Busby, the attorney for pretty much most of them, if not all, he had him and Ashley, can't pronounce her name, Silosi. They had a press conference yesterday where she came out and spoke out about this wasn't about the money. This is about
It wasn't about the money, but didn't they ask for $100,000?
It wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money.
But Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, said that they approached them about $100,000 settlement, and it can all kind of go away.
And I guess stay away from a public spectacle.
Yeah.
Right? But it's all allegations. Mm-hmm. It's all allegedly. And so I respect him for saying, he's saying he's innocent, right? And so I respect him by saying, no, I'm not paying you anything. I'm innocent. Right? He could have paid him off and just, it could have went away. But he said, no, we can go to court. Now, he's going to take some heat for it. He's already taking heat. You say that he lost his contract with Nike?
His contract with Nike right now is suspended. They're going there. They haven't lost. He hasn't lost it yet. Okay. They're suspending it because they're monitoring the situation because I guess. And you know what? Honestly, before we get into that, I'm not mad at Nike suspending it. I like the fact that they said, all right, we're going to suspend it right now. We're not going to totally cancel it because we're going to see if this really happened.
This lost me. Listen, man, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying everybody who submitted a lawsuit, but they lost me when they approached him for the $100,000, and he said no, we're going to court. We'll go to court. And then came back and said, well, it's not about the money. It's about women empowerment. You lost me already. If it was about women empowerment, then it just should have been, we're just going to court. Not, we'll settle for $100,000. And then once you deny me, okay, now we're going to court. Now it's women empowerment. Like, no. It should have been that from the beginning. All right? It should have been that from the beginning. That's just my take on it. It's if you guys feel otherwise on here, you guys let me know. But that's not right. And I'm sick of this, man.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read. You want to read the whole response or read the excerpt?
No, read it. I want you to read it.
All right. So here's the response from Rusty Hardin, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, yesterday, after Anthony Busby had the press conference. So, at a press conference today, attorney Anthony Busby introduced the first plaintiff to the media. She identified herself as Ashley Solis. In her remarks, Ms. Solis stated, "People say that I'm doing this just for the money. That is false." Mr. Busby himself repeatedly claimed that the litigation he filed on behalf of the other Jane Does, quote unquote, isn't about money. At his initial press conference on March 19th announcing the first wave of lawsuits, Mr. Busby stated, "This case ain't about money, and it certainly ain't about seeking publicity or fame." Surprised the lawyer said ain't. "I personally don't need it, and these women don't want it. This case is about female empowerment." Now, here's where it goes back into it. In fact, according to the documentation below, Mr. Busby sought $100,000 in hush money on behalf of Ms. Solis to quietly settle the allegations the month before he filed the lawsuit. "My client's demand is $100,000, Busby associate Cornelia Branfield Harvey wrote in a February 9, 2021 email on behalf of Ms. Solis. Ms. Brand Harvey followed up with a clarification of the $100,000 demand later that same day. The offer remains open until Friday of this week. Mr. Busby is copied on all of the emails. The Watson representative who engaged in the discussions with Mr. Busby and his firm is Scott Gaffield, the general counsel at Athletes First Agency of Laguna Beach. On February 19th, Mr. Gaffield responded to Mr. Busby and Ms. Branfield Harvey by inquiring about the rationale behind the $100,000 demand, given that we don't believe that the alleged facts showed that Deshaun did anything wrong. Mr. Busby responded the same morning. "We made a legit demand. You rejected it. We won't be making another bid. We won't be making another or bid against ourselves." He then added, "This is Houston, Texas. Perhaps you should find him a lawyer here so you can apprise both you and your client of the landscape here and who you are dealing with." In a written statement, Mr. Garfield said, "My email exchanges with Mr. Busby and Ms. Branfield Harvey were very clear. We did not think that the facts showed that Deshaun did anything wrong with their client. We believe then and fully believe now that Deshaun learned a lesson about putting himself in this type of situation by interacting with people he does not know. As the emails show, we were willing to continue discussions on Deshaun's behalf to explore ways to prevent a lawsuit and a public spectacle. But Mr. Busby informed us that he was unwilling to do so. We expect that this matter will be resolved in court."
Yeah, no. Nope. Don't buy it. I don't buy it. I want to see what happens in court. Very interesting. It's going to be. I'm glad this came out. I'm glad this came out.
Now, I had a theory about this whole thing.
I'm glad we was able to read that and see, because it wasn't too much information being put out there.
No, that's the thing that bothered me about the whole situation was I felt that Mr. Busby, he was trying to condemn Deshaun Watson in the public before he released any of his facts, and that's exactly what that I'm gonna be honest, he did a great job of it, because he really has not presented a shred of evidence. All of the evidence is really looking at him trying to get Deshaun to pay up before he even presents anything.
The evidence is gonna be he say, she say. That's what it is. They have to figure out. We got to figure out the information. We got to figure out the pattern, because if it's going to be the same pattern with multiple women, then it's going to be, it's not going to look too good. Mm-hmm. But for you to go out here and to ask this man for money, for hush money, and then when he denies it, and now you come out and say, "Oh, this is not about the money, it's about women empowerment," is where you lose me. It's where you lose me.
So it feels now. I did, like I said, I told everybody on the morning show before, I talked to one of my friends who's a lawyer, and I asked him the reason about why they went civil instead of criminal, and he told me criminal, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it. With civil, it's like it's more than likely he did it, so it's easier to get a civil judgment than a criminal judgment. But the thing about it is, if it is, like you to your point, if it's about women's empowerment, why are they not going the criminal route? And I just didn't understand that. But here's what I wanted to ask you. I thought the timing of everything was a little bit off.
I was just going to say that.
The timing of everything was a little bit off.
I was going to say that.
For me,
I was going to say
immediately after the Houston Texans signed Tyrod Taylor, less than 24 hours, all of these allegations just trickled down. Everything started to come one by one by one, and I was of the mindset that, you know what, I don't know whether Deshaun Watson did it or did not do it. I don't know him. I don't live in Texas.
He's innocent until proven. He's innocent until proven guilty. That's the Constitution. It's just what it is. It's the law.
But what got me was there is no way you can tell me if it was this many women for real, or even half of that
will come out right now,
and if they did, and if it's true, that the Houston Texans didn't know about it. If it's true, the Houston Texans knew about it. There's no way possible that if it happened, that they did not know. And I think that if they did know.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not condoning any actions. And I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson did anything wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't condone those actions. But what I do think is interesting. What I do think is interesting is that all of this came out when he got into his altercation or his dispute or his disagreement with the Houston Texans football team. Why did this come out then? Because these allegations all these didn't happen this year. Some happened last year, some might have happened the year before, some probably the year before that, but everything is coming out right now when he doesn't want to be a part of that organization anymore. Now, did they know about it and were trying to protect him? Or did they know about it and was keeping it in the back pocket just waiting? I don't know. But there's no way it's this many women. It's no way it's this many women that he did this to, and a team that is paying you $100+ million. 100. If I'm investing that type of money, I'm digging deep into my
I'm know what you
investment.
ate for breakfast.
I'm gonna know what you ate for breakfast. I'm gonna know what time you went to the bathroom. I'm gonna know what time you're getting to practice. I know what time you're looking at your playbook. I know what time. I know your family. I know your dark secrets in your closet. I'm hiring people. They had people on their staff that dig into your background. They know everything about you before they gave you that check. Everything. So I don't know how they do not know this. Because if they don't know this, they need to fire the people whose job it is to know.
Facts.
And last time I checked, I don't think anybody got fired. I didn't hear anything. Did you guys hear anything? And so for this to come out right now, I think this is their. If I was them, if this was a chess move, this is their way to tell him, listen, we can make this go away, but you need to fall in line. All right? You need to fall in line. We can make this go away. All right? Because, something else is going to happen in the future, and this is going to go away. All right? They can make this go away right now, and then, in the future, somebody else is going to do something stupid, and this is going to fall into the background. It always happens. Always. And then something happens in the future with Deshaun Watson, say 4 or 5 years from now, they'll bring this back up. But I find the timing very interesting, and I don't believe in coincidences.
I don't even.
My grandma taught me I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe it. Everything that happens for a reason. I didn't run into a guy, right? I didn't run into a guy at the original Pancake House the day I needed a general contractor, and so come to find out, I run into the same guy who my partner reached out to that same day, and I run into him in a Pancake House, and then we have a conversation, and now he's my general contractor. That's not coincidence. That's destiny. That's fate. I don't believe in coincidences. That was meant to happen. The timing of this, we'll see what happens. I'm no fool. I'm no fool. I don't know what we look, because we can look at the victims, and I'm all for victims. I'm all for women empowerment if these things happen. But don't sit here and say, we came to you for $100,000. You said no. And he goes on his rant and then comes back and says, this is not about the money. It's about women empowerment. You lost me. Get out of here. You lost me.
I agree 100%. I believe that it almost, like I said, it feels like if this is true, if these allegations are true, it feels like a cover-up job similar to what's going on with LSU. They covered up what Les Miles did all of those years, and right now, just yesterday,
what they suing for? Was it $50 million?
Les Miles is getting sued for $50 million. Associate AD claims harassment and retaliation, a $50 million lawsuit because she was trying to speak up for some of these women, and now she's going after.
And can you tell? And what's actually going on with LSU? What are they covering up? Because if you're gonna say they're covering up, you gotta get them the whole spill.
So Les Miles is accused of inappropriate conduct, touching on some of these girls and whatnot, and LSU covered up his Let me read it right here. Here's a story from Yahoo Sports. News broke in February that Miles, who coached at LSU from 2005 to 16, was the subject of a sexual harassment investigation. He was accused of repeated inappropriate behavior at LSU, including kissing a female student, inviting female students to his home, and requiring that only blondes with big boobs and pretty girls would work for the team. The investigation took in 2013, and Miles continued to coach at LSU until 2016. It was sealed until February when USA Today reported on it. And there was also a report that the former athletic director wanted to fire Miles in 2013 for it, but the school didn't act on it. So there is proof that these organizations, these schools, if they like you, they'll cover it up. It's just now coming out.
Why is it coming out now? I'm asking, why is it coming out
I don't
now?
know.
Now, is this for all the victims, or is this just for a particular one?
Just from what I'm reading, it's several victims, several.
So the 50 million.
But the 50 million, the 50 million is from the athletic director. She's representing, like, she was trying to protect several women who have been, assaulted and everything like that.
I respect.
University didn't act on it.
I want to see what I don't know too much about it, all right? But if these are the cases that they're trying to do, and you know what? We talked about this yesterday. What happens when a person gets in trouble? When a man gets in trouble? What are usually the 4 to 5 things he has to deal with? You tell me.
You said
what did I say yesterday?
You said women. You said I believe you said drinking. I believe gambling was one of them. I want to say the other one was being somewhere you weren't supposed to be.
Out after 2.
Out after 2. I can't remember the 5th one.
Drugs. These high costs for low living. High costs for low living. Something that Coach Caldwell embedded into our brains when he was our head coach here. And I was blessed enough to play for that man for 3 years here in Detroit. And then I was blessed to be able to play with him my rookie year in Indianapolis. It's incredible to see these accusations of people putting themselves in these positions, because no one's perfect, and I don't judge no man, no person at all. But there's certain things that I see. If I see a guy walk across the street and get hit by a car, logically, I'm not going to walk across that street when I see oncoming traffic coming. Mom always taught me whatever's done in the dark will come to the light, and it's coming to the light. Some stuff is coming to the light, and I'm like I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And for a lot of victims who claim to be victims that are really not victims, and it comes out that they're not victims, shame on you. I think there needs to be some type of penalty for people who do that, and I think it needs to be penalty for people who do it, right? But when it comes out that no shadow of a doubt that person is innocent, and that person comes out and say, you know what, I made it all up, it needs to be some consequences, because people can lose their, like, he's suspended right now. Deshaun Watson is suspended with his Nike deal because of the accusation. He hasn't even been proven guilty yet. So how is it you're innocent until proven guilty, but yet you have to reap the repercussions of
as if you are guilty.
just being in this situation? And then it comes out and says, listen, he's innocent, he won. He's still gonna have some tart on his name. Yeah, it doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you. Look at Brian Banks. He eventually made his way to the NFL for a very, very short stint, but he was supposed to be a very big college prospect. He was falsely accused and lost 6 years of his life. Good friend of mine. A current Detroit Lion right now, Quintez Cephas, dealing with false accusations. Brian Banks, good friend of mine. Wow. Good friend of mine. We trained together in L.A. And heard his story and told me a story, inspiring story. And he even has a movie out. I believe it's called the Brian Banks story. I'm paraphrasing, but look it up. He has a movie out, and it's an inspiring movie. Basically went to jail, lost 6 years of his life. He had a promising career, and it comes out 6 years later that he never did what he did. He was innocent. Did she come out and say? I think what happened was she tricked her into telling on herself. That's the only way he got out. Yeah. How, when you first heard
him tell the story to you, what was your reaction?
Because he didn't go like there's more details in the movie than what he gave me.
Okay.
All right. But destroyed his life. Took years. I mean, he lost millions. Millions. Right. But was lucky enough wouldn't play for the Falcons.
Yep.
For a couple of years. But he didn't get half the money he shouldn't have got. Not even a quarter of it. Especially if he would have been able to go through his career, through his college career, and then get drafted. And that was before the new CBA where there was no cap. There was no cap on a rookie contract. All right. And so he missed out on a lot of money. So it's sad. And that's all because of somebody saying you did something you didn't do. And that's why athletes, we have this big circle on our back. People say we have it made because we have money. Oh, they got money. That's okay. They're fine. Because money solves everything, right? Money solves everything.
More money, more problems.
Biggie said it best.
I want to go to some of the Facebook comments.
Let's go to some of the Facebook questions.
McKinley Price brought up an interesting question. Not saying he did anything wrong regarding Deshaun Watson. Not saying he did anything wrong, but why is a millionaire NFL QB hiring 20 different masseuses off Instagram? Now, is that where he
said what?
Why is he said I'm not saying Deshaun Watson did anything wrong, but why is a millionaire NFL QB hiring 20 different masseuses off Instagram? Because apparently these are all,
Because he might be doing it because the last one sucked. So let me try another one. If I went to a bad masseuse, I'm not going to bring her back over here. I'm going to go try another one. What's wrong with that? Yeah, I know. Look at me now. Look at me now. But listen, right now it said, and this is another thing. If you knew your friend assaulted someone, would you give him up, Jenna?
Oh, 545. Hold on.
Yeah, she said, question: If you knew your friend assaulted someone, would you give them up?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I would definitely.
Your brother, you'll give up. So you got a brother, right?
Yeah,
you'll give him up. You'll give him up.
I couldn't rock with you. I give him up. Couldn't do it.
Give him up. You give him up, or you just stop talking to him?
I both.
Give him up.
Both. Yeah.
All right.
Both. It's a
slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. But the thing about it is, I have lady friends, and I've seen
it had to depend on what they did.
I've had lady friends, and I've seen what sexual assault does to them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those things that they mentally some of them just mentally can't recover from it. Mm-hmm. It affected, I don't want to put her business out there, but somebody that I dated, that affected our, relations because she couldn't stand sometimes being touched because she was that
But that's when you come into play and you have to be patient with them.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, but you have to. The thing is, if you had that type of situation and you go into a relationship like that, all that needs to be laid out on the table at the beginning. She needs to know your attention. You need to know her intentions. You need to know some of the things some of her pet peeves, your pet peeve. You need to understand that. And then from that point, when you guys have an understanding, that communication, then you guys can move forward with either, let's give this a try, or, you know what, maybe not right now. I'm going to let you work on you. I'm going to work on me. We can link up in the future, but at least you guys know. And you won't waste each other time. Period. You won't waste each other time. Right here, one thing that I want to harp on this real quick. On Facebook, Kevin James, he said that you have these millionaires, you have these guys, these athletes, that when these alleged victims, they come forward, and then they file a lawsuit, they could be anonymous. They can be anonymous. But the person that they're targeting
It's not anonymous.
It's not anonymous. Oh, his name is all out there. It's out there. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair that if they're anonymous, then the athlete needs to be anonymous and all this needs, right? What it needs to be. Because if it comes out that they're innocent and that you lied, you tarnish that man's name. So you're saying it should be equal. It's equal protection as far as anonymity. It's to be equal all the way around. Ain't no. You come forward. All right. If you want to be anonymous, then he has to be anonymous. Period. If you want to put your name out there, then we'll put his name out there. You have some people who do that, right? And they kind of wait it out to kind of see, okay, when should I put my name out there? Mm-hmm. When should I put my name? Okay, now do it. And you have some people from the beginning, they do it. I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know. You know, like I said, these are alleged victims and these are alleged criminals. But when you put somebody's name out there for something like this, you are. If he did do it, then power on. I'm with you. But if he didn't, you just destroyed this man's life. You destroyed his pockets, and there's going to be something he's going to recover from. Steve Rathburn just made a Rathbun. He made a good point. We overdue for a break. I'm sorry. Well, we overdue for a break. Real quick, have I talked to you about Hall Financial? Interest rates have started to fluctuate, so now it's the time to call Hall Financial. You don't know what's going to happen, so be smart and make the call now while the rates are low, because you could be saving a lot of money. Hey, Hall Financial is the fast, and they do all of the heavy lifting just for you. Hey, go call David Hall. Go to the website, davidhallmortgage.com now to get started. Hall Financial, low payments, better options, and more personal attention. Joique Bell, Kory E. Woods, Woodward Sports, Baligian the Bell Show. Be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back. This is the Woodward Sports Network. You're watching the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods here with Joique Bell. And wait a minute. Hold on. It's Stick.
That's right. Pulling double duty today, man.
Hey, man, I'm trying to be like you one of these days.
We look like an Oreo on the screen. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing?
You had to go there.
I just saw it.
No, he does.
And listen, Oreos are my favorite cookie, so
I had to give them up.
You did?
I had to give them up.
Oh,
They were my favorite. I literally had to give them up when I started this keto. But you know what I did? I found some not Oreos, but they call them cookie sandwiches.
The Hydro cookies or whatever.
Yeah,
Hydra.
I found
the knockoffs.
Yeah.
Organic.
Listen. I found some keto-friendly Oreos, but they're not Oreos. They're like I forgot what they are.
Sandwich
but you got to order them.
Okay.
Yeah, I ordered them and it tastes nothing like Oreos.
In your prime, how fast would you shoot through a sleeve of Oreos?
A sleeve?
Yeah, because that's how I eat. I don't eat Oreos by 3.
No.
I eat the whole damn sleeve at a time.
A sleeve? I eat the whole pack in a night. I know. So this is what I do. People don't even. I'm about to give you some secrets real quick because I'm a foodie, and so I used to do this.
Snap.
I will grab like 8 Oreos, 8 to 10. I would twist them open just a little bit. I would dump them all in the cup.
Ooh, okay.
And then I would take my not soy milk, but I'll take my oat milk, shake it up real good, and pour it over the top. And probably make like some Oreo cereal. Let it get not too soggy, not too crunchy, but right in the middle. Chop them up in there, stir it up, Eat it like cereal.
And it's like that worms and dirt thing. You ever had that when you were a kid?
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, well, according to my doctor yesterday, I'm not eating Oreos for the next 3 months.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, my strategy is sometimes I twist the Oreo, and then obviously, one side gets all the filling and the other side's empty.
Yeah.
I eat the empty side, then I twist another one, then I double stuff that bitch. And that's my strategy.
I never did that one. What's
Yeah.
up, Fish? What you doing, Fish?
All right, number one, they actually have Oreo cereal, which is actually
Yeah, they
pretty
do.
good. I've had it before.
Is it good?
Yes, it is pretty
but
good.
I don't like it. It's like the little circle with like the cream.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
Yeah, they've got like the
It's not-
cream
it's-
nuggets or something. And number two, they have that stick. It's called double stuffed Oreos. You can
I
just
know,
go to the
but,
store and get them.
I like to build them on my own, and it makes me feel better when I'm eating the thin one, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, now I got the real double
And
stuff.
it's weird because they have, so they have the Oreo where you have the 2 chocolate cookies with the cream.
Yep.
And then you have the light brown one. When you
The golden
have
one.
The golden
Golden
ones.
Oreos.
Those are good. The
You should have
lemon
the
ones are
You
good.
should have the chocolate filling in those and not
They
white
do
cream.
that on some. That's what they do.
The mint ones, the mint with
The
the
mint,
chocolate.
the mint is
the
actually pretty
grasshoppers.
good. They're pretty good.
Ooh, baby.
That's good.
Yeah.
You got to try that with in the cup in the middle. You
I
gotta
love
try
that
it.
we're going on an Oreo tangent just because of how
Yeah.
we're laid out on
Hey,
the screen
Oreo.
right now.
Hey, listen, Oreo.
This is the
Hey,
Oreo show.
So we need the Nabisco. We need the Nabisco sponsorship now.
right, bing, right in the corner.
We need it. We need it right here on the show.
But
All right.
getting back into it, we were.
What's up, Fish?
Do you guys want me to tell you some Oreo flavors?
Yeah, they
yeah,
got
yeah.
everything.
Like,
Like
they've
wet
got-
cake,
Yeah,
birthday
Yeah,
cake.
they've got chocolate chip, hazelnut, Java chip, mint, birthday cake, chocolate.
Birthday cake is fire.
They
Yeah.
used to have watermelon.
I was mad. I'm gonna tell you my story with the birthday cake. I bought some birthday cake, Oreo, because I thought I was gonna be able to enjoy them. I thought I was. And when I woke up the next day, I had breakfast first, and I was chilling. And noon came around. It was time for me to go grab me some birthday cake Oreos.
Nice.
Put them in a cup, chop them up with my oat milk, and
I love how you go with
to
oat
town.
milk. So unhealthy, but oat milk.
Oat milk.
Yes,
And-
oat.
Yeah, and so I go pour it in there, and they're all gone. My son and nephews ate them all up that night.
that was coming.
I made them all run a mile around the block.
I literally had to tell my wife to stop buying Oreos.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop
Yeah.
it. I have no self-control. I have self-discipline in every aspect of life except for Oreos.
That's me. That's me with pizza.
Or
Is it?
that, or you go get the Pillsbury, or the Trader Joe's. They have like a double chocolate chip one.
Okay.
That's delicious.
Everything at
You
Trader Joe's is
cook
great.
those. You got to cook them in the oven. They say cook for 9 to 12 minutes or 10 to 12 minutes. You cook it for 9. You cook it for 9 minutes, and you take them out, because when you take them out, they're still cooking. I want you to understand that. So don't take them out at 10. You take them out at 9.
Cooking lessons with Joique Bell.
You take them out at 9 minutes, and you let them sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. And you while they're still warm, you take them, you put them in a cup, and you add that milk. You chop them up too, and delicious.
I love how the chop them up always
chop
makes
it
it
up.
into the recipe.
All right,
That's it. I'm hungry.
I want to get back to it. So we were talking about Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
and we were talking about certain things. And I have a question for you: that when these alleged victims, whether it's male or female, when they come forward, right, and they file these lawsuits, they can file these lawsuits and be anonymous.
Correct.
But the person that they're accusing is not anonymous.
Right.
Do you think that's fair for them to be anonymous and not have their name in there, but have the person's name in there? I don't think it's fair to have their name and not your name, if it's alleged.
Yeah, I mean, if you're accusing somebody of anything, you should want to put your name on it anyways. Obviously,
it's like dry
with
snitching.
obviously with sexual assault, victims go through so much mentally that they don't necessarily want the public pushback, especially when it's in a situation like this with Deshaun Watson. You're taking on a powerful entity.
My question is this, though: if they feel, and I understand that portion,
Right,
because me and Kory both had encounters with people who have had sexual assault things happen to them. And I agree with you on that. They do go through a mental block, and they go through these mental issues. Do you think they wait until they have that mental capacity where they can go and I'm strong enough to put my name out there to go attack this person? Or you feel like we go attack this person behind closed doors?
See, it's really hard for me to get in the head of any accuser because obviously, especially
no. This is all personal opinion. I'm not asking you. I'm just saying, what do you think is right?
Oh, I mean, in an ideal world,
No, you stuttering.
Well, because I want to be measured with what I'm saying and not just spit out something off the top of my head. Because in an ideal world, you are correct. Everybody should remain anonymous until facts are brought forward. You
Not facts. I would say until the verdict is brought forward.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The facts of the case and there's actually tangible reason to hate somebody or to pick a side. But that's not the society we live in. I mean, we live in this kind of society of checks and balances to where as soon as you get sued, that is public knowledge. And if it goes on a public court docket, that means anybody has access to it. Like if I get a parking ticket,
that's true.
If I get a parking ticket or if I get a speeding ticket and I go to court, I'm on a docket. Anybody can walk up and be like, "Oh shit, Stick got a speeding ticket. He's reckless driving," and report that to the news. So I'm with you. I don't like giving power to the accuser just because they said something. Because I could sue you right now for anything I want, right? In a civil lawsuit. I have to prove that eventually. But at the same time, I could say Joique pinned me in the bathroom.
And that's where it's not fair. And this is a not. I understand this when people are like, well, be fair. This is not a fair world that we live in.
But let me ask you this. How often do you think it happens to where people just come forward with egregious allegations that have no truth to them just to kind of get clout or take someone down? I think it is a percentage, but I don't think it's the overwhelming percentage.
I think it depends on the case.
90% of 90% of what it's like a crazy number. They don't even go to trial. They cop in the
settle.
They settle.
Yep.
You settle. So why can't you settle behind closed doors?
Well,
and what happened?
Apparently, that's what they tried to do. And Deshaun Watson told him to kick rocks.
He told him, and why did he tell him to kick rocks? Because he knows he's innocent.
Well, apparently his lawyer says what they brought forward, they don't believe the evidence. They don't believe there is enough evidence. And if it was a one accusation, yeah, I'm like, okay.
But when it's 20-some people.
22? Try getting 22 people to agree on anything.
Right. And so my thing is this. My thing is this for you. How many victims is it?
22. Accusers.
Accusers.
Yes. And I think,
hold on. Now we about to get into it. Now it's 22 accusers, and this I don't know how far it dates back. Does it date back to like 2018, 19?
I don't know when the first accusation was.
Yeah. Let's find that out because this is going to be my next point to you. How much are they paying Deshaun Watson? What's his contract?
Oh, he's
100 and what, 50?
Yeah, he's like 18 mil a year, something around there.
So, right. You think before they pay him this money, you don't think they knew about all these accusers? You don't think they knew anything about them?
That actually,
I'm asking,
no. I agree because Darren McCarty made that point. He was like, "Listen, when you play for a team, they're willing to bury some of your skeletons."
Period.
And once you become,
I know.
See, and that's
I know.
See, you have a great perspective on it, like because you know some dude in the locker room, whatever it is. I'm not gonna list off something just to make up a story.
I know teams cover up.
Yeah,
I know for a fact.
So, do you believe that Deshaun Watson probably should have handled his trade better if he knew, hey, I got all this shit in my closet. I don't want it out there, so maybe I should treat the Texans because they've been covering up for me.
What they should have did was this. Give us that information.
Just saying real quick from I'm looking at the timeline. The first one took place last March.
Last March. So this is all relatively new.
Apparently last March. So I'm going to do some more digging with from reading the timeline. The first one apparently took place last March. I'm going to look and see if there might have been.
So 22 women in the course of a year?
He signed that deal when?
I think he signed when he signed last year?
Last March.
Last March. So he got that deal, signed the deal. The team is going to be following you through all that.
Right.
And so now, and honestly, I think it might date back farther than that. They know.
So the allegations, okay, here, so the allegations of the first lawsuit took place in March. I'm still looking to see when the actual timeline, but from the first lawsuit, that one took place last March.
Now, I will say this. Of the 22 accusers, you will find, and I would bet that there is a percentage that are just hopping on trying to get the money train.
Yeah.
They had an interaction with Deshaun Watson, whether it's good nor bad. They just know, hey, these girls are getting money. I want my piece of it. I'm not saying that's for everyone, but I guarantee there's maybe one or two.
I'm not going to guarantee anything. Everything is allegedly. Everything is alleged.
I got a question for both of you because Joique, you pointed something out.
Hold on. I had some. So I had, because I was going into a big point.
Oh, okay, let's get it.
But I gave it to you and I lost it, and it was a good one too.
Dang.
It was a good one too. But my next thing though is, even throughout this past year, you don't think the team had any information?
Oh yeah, they did, for sure they did.
My next question is, I don't blame Deshaun Watson for feeling how he felt about the Houston Texans because they lied to him. They flat out lied to him. All right? I don't want to be in a situation when I'm being lied to because there's three things that make a good relationship. All right? It's three things. And under those three things falls just about anything you can think about. It's going to be communication is one. All right? It's going to be respect is going to be number two. And number three, which is probably the most difficult, is going to be the compromise. They communicated with Deshaun Watson that he was going to be a part of the hiring of the new head coach and also the new GM.
Right.
He wasn't a part of either one. All right. That's what they communicated. By them not bringing him in, that showed him that they didn't respect him. All right.
Yeah.
They showed them that they didn't respect him, and now I don't want to be here anymore, and do what you guys can to get me out of here. The compromise, I'm willing to do whatever I got to do to get out of here. The compromise, and they didn't want to talk about it.
So do you feel, and this is just
do I feel that they brought this out?
No. What I was gonna say is, do you feel that the Texans use this to their advantage and when
yes, I'm not going to sugarcoat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you feel that Deshaun probably should have treaded thinner if he knew that there was
he should have handled it differently? Yeah. Then that's what I'm saying. He should have handled it differently. But I'm not against what he did. I'm not against of what he did, but just how he did it.
Right.
That's it.
And also too, let's not forget this. Anthony Busby and the Texans owner are neighbors. You mean to tell me if they ain't had no kind of conversation about?
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah,
they're neighbors.
Yeah, they're friends.
So you didn't mean to tell me that Busby and McNair maybe like, hey, you know what?
Tell me what you need from me.
Go look into this for me. I'm not gonna tell you what's there, but just
we don't got to text me. Just come knock on my door. We'll talk. We don't got to talk nothing through text. We don't got to talk through text. We just come over. Hey, listen, man. We got some stuff on them. I want you to go take a look into it. Go talk to this person and see if you can build some momentum. Now, this is a conversation. Just come over to the house, knock on the door.
So, Joique, you played in the NFL. Is the NFL that ruthless to where if your franchise quarterback leaves, they're gonna destroy your character? They're gonna bring out allegations.
It depends. Is it the NFL or you talk about the teams?
I guess we can go specific teams. So I guess
we'll go specific. I'm not talking about teams. I'm talking about the NFL.
Okay. The Texans in the NFL.
You know what, man? I'm not gonna sit here and dog the NFL. I'm not.
No.
But do I think that sometimes some things happen in the NFL that I sit back and I go, wow, yes. And with certain teams, yes. Do I know teams cover up for certain? Yes.
Okay.
Do I know of some things that happened that was? Yes. Do I ever bring it out? No.
I mean, has there been situations, something similar to this, where like the whole locker room knew and you're looking at a guy like this punk mother, and you all had to keep your mouth shut?
No.
Or is it like just an unspoken word?
No. I've never been around a player or an athlete that assaulted a woman and went around bragging about it.
Okay.
That's no.
I heard you guys earlier when you were talking. Would you turn your boy?
One thing I do want to add on, because I did look it up. All of these allegations happened between 2021 and 2020 and 2021. They're saying all 22 happened between that time frame.
It's just so bizarre, man. Because honestly, if it's 22 women and it goes back like 7 years, 5 years, it's like, okay, this is a habitual thing. For it to just hard start a year ago and then turn into 22 women over the course of the year, to me, that raises a little bit of a red flag.
On who part?
On the accuser's part.
Okay.
Listen, I said a little bit of a red flag. There's red flags all over on both sides. The fact that, if Deshaun Watson
it's
really
the same
wanted...
story. It's the same story.
But if Deshaun Watson really wanted to get ahead of this, when they first made that initial 100K, we'll hush our mouth, you should have made that public. Like, you got to go on the attack like they're doing to you. Like, listen, I'm being extorted right now for $100,000. The shit you're about to hear about me isn't true.
And sometimes you can't do that because sometimes when you do get sued, they hit you with you can't mention this on your social media or anything, so you can't talk about it.
I know.
And so sometimes they're put in situations to where they can't even defend themselves, even if they want to. But the person who accused you was anonymous, and my name's out there, and I can't defend myself.
Well, two of the ladies are no longer anonymous. They both spoke yesterday, putting the face with the name.
Yes,
and I'm sure we'll hear from more.
Right. But don't sit here. Don't sit here and say this is about women empowerment after you got declined for $100,000 that you just asked for.
Right.
It's not about women empowerment.
This goes away.
Is it about both?
Women's empowerment.
Right.
It can't be both.
Now,
there's no oxymoron. That's an oxymoron.
Now, question: we talked about anonymous, the accuser, and the person being accused being anonymous.
Right.
What about this? What about if it was a criminal case? The accuser stays anonymous, and the person they're accusing goes public. But if it's civil, both are anonymous.
It's just such a hard situation, because you want to believe as a human you're not going to put yourself forward into these types of situations. Like, as a woman, you're not going to say you were raped when you weren't raped. Like, you want to assume society can at least function on that type of respect. But unfortunately, we've seen in the past, Duke Lacrosse is a great example of it, to where sometimes people lie about that just to get clout. Or, if you watch the whole Duke Lacrosse 30 for 30, that thing is insane how it ran so far up the political ladder to where a politician paid a stripper to fake like she got raped by the entire Duke Lacrosse team just so he could get the African American vote in his county. Like, that's so twisted. And
say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Have you seen the Duke Lacrosse 30 for 30?
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
So the Duke Lacrosse 30 for 30, if you really dig into it, and they did a great job on it, it ended up this poor, I don't want to use the term poor, but this stripper who was not well off, a politician approached her, paid her good money to make up a story about all these white kids raping her with Duke Lacrosse. And he did that because he wanted to protect her and go at these kids to prove to the African American community in North Carolina that he was on their side and that was going to get him the votes. That is how shady politicians are, man. Like, they ruined her life, they ruined all those boys' life just to get a re-election, and then it all came out and the guy ruined his career.
It happens.
It does, and it's pandering. It's awful. It's stupid, but it worked for him.
That's not corporations. And that's not even scratching the top. That's not even scratching the surface.
Well, that's the one we know of.
That's the one we know of.
Exactly.
That's not. It's other stuff out there that's worse than that, and that's how sad this is, and this is how cutthroat it is. Because I want people to know, one of the most cutthroat businesses in the world, and we talk about this a lot, is Wall Street. Yeah. That's the most cutthroat business you can ever be in. And if somebody tells you different, you tell me another business that's more cutthroat than Wall Street. And then after Wall Street, we'll say the next cutthroat business is NFL. And this is not me saying it. This is what people higher up are saying, that the NFL is the next cutthroat business. But we market the NFL as a friendly organization.
Did you ever watch the show Ballers? Did you watch that with The Rock?
Yeah.
How was that accurate at all? Like, I know they sensationalize a lot of things, but was that accurate at all?
I stopped watching because it was over the top. But
okay, I loved it.
But it was still a good show.
Yeah.
But like, how at the beginning we talked about this earlier, and it correlates. But you remember on Ballers at the beginning where they kind of working out in the gym, and that was at Unbreakable Sports with Jay Glazer.
Yep.
Where all the athletes used to train. So that's where I met Brian Banks, another guy who was accused of sexual assault, spent 6 years in prison, and then got out and still was able to make it to the NFL after he got himself exonerated because he got the girl to trick or so into saying he never did it. It ruined his life.
Yeah. Well, look at Cephas. I mean, look what happened to Cephas at Wisconsin.
It was like that, but Cephas didn't do any time. How much time did he do?
He didn't do any time.
Exactly. But this guy went to prison for 6 years.
Oof, God.
Who was a high prospect. All the scholarships, lost all his scholarships, went to prison, and then got out and was still able to make his way back to the NFL.
Yeah. Well, one quick thing, speaking of loss, what just came down, Beats by Dre just ended their partnership with Deshaun Watson.
So the money's starting to fall away now.
So that's what, and all off of allegations. All off of allegations. You are guilty until proven innocent.
That's true.
In the people's eyes, but in the Constitution, you're innocent until proven guilty. But when everybody has their own opinion and stuff comes out like this, and then certain people that are accusing you can sit behind closed doors, I do not agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. If you want to be anonymous, then the person should be anonymous. But that's not the way the law works. It doesn't protect everyone. But we're up against a break. You have another read for us, Fish?
Sure. You want to hear about 8 Mile Vodka Stick? I know you like 8 Mile Vodka.
Let's take a shot.
Right, I do.
Let's take a shot.
You drink?
No, you know I don't drink.
Oh, okay. So I'll do one for both of us.
All right. I don't drink either, and I will never.
Go ahead, Fish.
I will never drink, by the way, hopefully. But one thing I do know is it's born in Detroit. 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit and distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow optimal quality control and care. They're carbon filtered, altered, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a smooth taste and finish a character all of its own. This is an exceptional premium vodka that can be chilled, enjoyed straight, or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile Vodka or pick it up at a Meijer. And remember, always to drink responsibly. Key there, drink responsibly, everybody.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back. This is the Woodward Sports Network, and you're watching the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods up here filling in for Sean Baligian. We got Stick up here, and of course, we got the Bell of Baligian and Bell, Joique Bell.
The Bell of the Ball.
But you know what? You just saw that, ad for Hall Financial. Let's get into the winners of the Hall Financial Perfect Bracket Payoff. I'm going to start with the last place winner who... They beat me for my toilet. I need a new toilet. I was trying to go to Home Depot, but Tim Hughes is the winner of the last place for the toilet bowl.
Yes.
5th place goes to David Pierce. He's going to win a $250 Top Golf gift card, courtesy of Grow Green. 4th place, Vicky Nelson, 50-inch TVs, courtesy of Meijer. Wayne Suzek, pizza for a year, courtesy of Papa Romano. That would help. That would hurt me. 2nd place goes to Ken Dowse. He's going to win a Shinola watch, courtesy of Bridge Street Exchange. And the 1st place winner, Victor Ruse, wins a PS5 and a 65-inch TV, courtesy of Meijer. Nobody won the $500,000 mortgage payoff, but you know what? We got some winners here, so congratulations to all of you guys. Now, let's go ahead and get into sticking on some NFL players. Now we're going to go to a former NFL player who, I watched the video several times because I was pretty confused, to say the least.
Yeah,
but
what is he talking
Brandon
about?
Marshall got into it with a few of his fellow NFL comrades about NBA salaries and whether they were guaranteed or not.
You consider that getting into it?
They got it was really just Brandon Marshall ranting. So let's say
hey, if you can't be right, be loud.
Be right. Hey, Alex, go ahead and roll that.
Hey, what they say? Hold on, before we go to it. Our coach always say that if you make a mistake on the field, you do it going 100 miles per hour.
That's right.
And he went 100 miles per hour.
Fully committed.
Hey, speaking of rolling 100 miles per hour, roll that clip.
Y'all talking about because y'all talking about the NBA. Everybody got guaranteed contracts, and it's false. They do. Searching this, and I'm telling you, it's the truth. No, they don't. Not everybody that's on the NBA roster have a guaranteed.
There's two-way contracts. There's two-way contracts, and then there's the top dog. There's the top dog.
No, it's not. There's 4 guys on the NBA team that got guaranteed contracts, and everybody else can be cut today and don't got nothing.
And don't have nan dime.
Look it up. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed.
So who has a better structure, the NBA or the NFL?
Everything y'all saying is what I'm saying. It's now you finally got the Russell Wilsons of the world finally saying something.
That argument right there could be, I can watch you on video in a game run a go route, and you come back and you argue with me up and down that you ran a 5-yard comeback. That what that video showed me, because anybody who knows anything about sports, that NBA contracts. Well, let's just get into it. NFL is the only professional sport that doesn't have guaranteed contracts, and you have a select few players in the NFL who are lucky enough to get a guaranteed contract. And the only thing that's guaranteed in your contract is your guaranteed money.
Right.
That's it. If a person signs for $200 million, as a player, I'm not looking at that $200 million. I'm looking at the guaranteed, and then out that $200 million, I'm looking at how much of that $200 million is on the front end of my contract. Because if I sign a 5-year deal for $200 million, I'm looking at the first 3 years. Am I getting 15 this year, 20, or am I touching 50 my first year, 25 my next year, 35 to 40 the next year, and whatever it is on the back end? Am I looking? Because more than likely you're not going to touch that back end.
Yeah, the only thing I can think he's talking about in the NBA is like the 10-day player contract.
That's even guaranteed for your 10 days.
It's 10 days, but
it's 10 days. That's your contract for 10 days.
Two NBA players have come out and responded to what Brandon Marshall said. Jared Dudley said, "This man can't be serious. 95% of players have guaranteed contracts. Sometimes one person per roster will sign a partial deal with a later date to either being cut or signed for the remainder of the season.
Right.
Only top elite QBs have similar NBA deals." And then, what's his name? Lou Williams came in and just said he's just big wrong.
I mean,
Joey said Brandon Marshall don't even lift. He's just jacked because he gets so mad.
Brandon Marshall making the Noops look bad, man. That was a
Ocho Cinco. He said, listen, Ocho Cinco got so he couldn't even respond. He said they do have. He shut up after that.
Right.
He couldn't argue with
What
him.
else can you do when you tell someone facts and they're just like, no? And it's like, okay, well then go off, Brandon Marshall.
Go off, B. Marsh.
What do you think it's going to take for the NFL to get to guaranteed contracts?
This is going to be a debate for forever, right? And this is the argument that this is behind closed doors of conversations that I've kind of had with people that's a part of that process of negotiation.
Okay.
That we feel we should have guaranteed contract just because of the injury rate. And I mean, it's certain things we should have. I think we should have lifetime health care.
Yes. You guys are playing the most violent sport that there is.
Right.
Period.
And we don't get that, right? We get, once you become a veteran, you have 5 years of your health care once you're done playing.
That's it?
5 years after you're done.
And honestly, that's not even when like CTE and stuff really kicks in. Like that takes time.
And then this where the second part comes in. That's where your workers' comp. And depending on what state you play in, depends on how your worker comps go.
Oh.
Like, and I'll give you an example. If I had a concussion back in 2014 here for the Detroit Lions, if I'm having some symptoms of memory loss, headaches, migraines, whatever, if I'm having those in 2030, I have 2 years to go see a doctor to get my workers' comp because it's 2 years from date of symptoms in Michigan.
Got it.
When I played in Chicago, if I would have had a concussion in Chicago, I have 3 years to go and fight for my workers' comp. 3 years from injury. I might not have any symptoms the first 3 years.
Right.
I might not have symptoms to 15, 20 years down the road. You don't know. And so you lose that window. It's called SOL. And it means both. It means both things. What does it mean?
Shit out of luck and same old Lions?
No.
Oh.
Exactly. So when they bring this up in our players in our NFL PA meetings, SOL means statute of limitations, which ultimately mean
SOL. Shit out of luck.
It's basically what it means.
Right.
So you miss your deadline to submit for your workers' comp. In Michigan, we have a better worker comp system here. What some players used to do is California had some of the best worker comp laws, and so if you played a game in California, you would try to get the California workers comp because you played there for a game.
So
but they eliminated that.
Okay, so it's not the team you're signed to.
No,
it's
not
where
it's
the
state,
injury happened.
No. It's the state that's paying you.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't matter. So if we played a game in California,
yep,
we have to pay taxes. We have to pay California state taxes because we played a game there.
Really? Even though the Lions pay your paycheck?
Yes, because you made money there. So you have to pay a certain amount of taxes to that city, to that state, in that city for that particular game.
So like in Texas where they have no income tax, like you're happy to go play in Dallas, that paycheck's going to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of players either move to Texas,
Florida,
Nevada,
right,
or Florida, and then Tennessee they have very low state taxes, like 1%, something really, really low.
Yeah.
And then you have other undesirable states that have no, like Idaho or Montana or something like that.
Well, there's no pro teams there.
You're not moving there.
Right.
But yeah, so what players will do, they'll play a game in California, and then they'll try to claim California's worker comp because they have to pay taxes there because they played a game there, and they'll try to get that worker comp. But they eliminated that, and we can't do it anymore.
Man, the collective bargaining agreement that they just signed, moving it up to 17 games, I mean, when do you think they're going to really push for those guaranteed contracts in these CBA discussions? Is that going to be when they get to 18 games? Like, listen, y'all want 18 games, we need 2 bye weeks because you're screwing up our lives.
Their logic of why they shouldn't, the logic that I heard, allegedly, is that the reason that we shouldn't get guaranteed contracts is because why would you put money into a vehicle that you know is going to break down? That's there because we have a 100% injury rate. Our argument is that yes, you have to pay us because we're sacrificing our body, so we need guaranteed contracts. So you just can't throw us out to the wolves if we get hurt.
That's a poor excuse.
Yeah, dude.
That's a very poor excuse.
For a $1 billion organization to not even, let's just say.
And the thing is this. How do you become a billionaire or how do you become a millionaire? By not spending like one. And that's the law. That's the law of any wealthy person. You become wealthy by not spending like one. By spending like you're not. And so as rich people or wealthy people, I'm gonna say wealthy, not rich, but as wealthy people, when you get hit with certain things or certain stipulations, you don't conform. You react. And so, for instance, when you go down and we have these negotiations and we think that we're getting something on the back end that the people that are wealthy who know this is going to work for me. This is going to work for me. And so I'll give you a perfect example. With the last CBA, when I played at the end of that one, teams weren't required to spend the 100% of the salary cap.
Right.
Teams were spending 88%. Some teams were spending 88% of the salary cap, taking that other 12% and then giving it back to the owners or to the team. And that's another it could be another 25 to 30 million that they're giving back to the team that could be going back to the players. And now with the last CBA, they were forcing the team to give that money out every year. And so every year it'll be 88%, then the next year it'll be 90, next year 92, next year 95, and I'm paraphrasing, till it got to 100%. Now what they can't do is determine who they give that money to. And in most cases, they'll just give it to the players that's already making a lot of money. That's already making a lot of money, which, what are we doing here?
Right. Making the rich richer. And, it goes back to that Chris Rock saying, what's the difference between rich and wealthy? Shaq is rich. The white man signing his paycheck is wealthy. Like, rich, you can blow in a weekend in Vegas. Wealth, you cannot get rid of.
No, well, I'm going to tell you, that's not my definition of wealthy.
That's Chris Rock's.
My definition of wealthy is you can make money or you can make a living doing what you love.
Yes.
Because that's wealthy to me.
Internal happiness too, right?
Like you're making money. Because I know a lot of people that have money that they're not happy.
Miserable people. Miserable. No, I know a lot too, man. It's crazy to me.
But wealth to me is making a living doing what you love. And you have hood rich. Well, I go around. You have hood rich. I some of the stories I hear about some people who come across money and make it to the dream and fall off and things I see and hear that they've done, like in the news, is baffling to me.
Well, you look at even like lotto winners, like 70% of lotto winners usually end up going bankrupt because
they don't know what to do with the money once they
get
it.
Well, and it's all the leeches and the hangers on,
and
then
you think it's always going to be there,
right?
And so the people who win a lottery, they're not vibrating at a frequency where they can handle that type of money.
Right.
So it's not going to last. It's not going to last because you're not meant to have that. It's not meant for you to have that right there.
What do you think about the people who say professional football players make too much money? When people say that
crazy.
Athletes like Patrick Mahomes signed a $500 million contract.
How do we not make enough money?
Well, they're saying,
how do we not make?
Listen, I hear the argument all the time that professional athletes are overpaid. All they do is play a kid's game, and
they get out there and come play. Then you strap up, you come out, you come play, and you be successful. These are the people who can't do what we do, arguing about they just doing, but they don't know the countless hours,
right?
The years.
They just see Sunday. They see Sunday.
They see Sunday. They see a Monday night. They see a Thursday night. They see a basketball game, a hockey. You guys have no idea.
Why don't they say, okay,
what we go through? They don't know.
Okay, why don't we have that same argument about actors and actresses who are getting $20 million for one script and everything like that?
It doesn't matter because you don't know what they went through to get there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
They are going through certain things.
You're like, how are you just gonna pick on athletes making too much money? I think you're worth
like Big Sean said. He said in the verse and it correlated. So it took me 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think with movie actors and stuff like that, we don't get to see their contracts always. At the end of the year, you may put out, here's your highest paid actors and actresses of the year. But every time Joique Bell signs a contract, I know exactly years, terms, bonuses, structure. I know all about that. And I think if all of that was put more in our face, then maybe we would judge other people similarly.
You can't trust Google sometimes. Google, they spoken into existence for me though. They're speaking into existence. They said my net worth was worth $72 million. So
damn.
Yes,
I had no idea. Can I get a loan?
I printed. You know what? I said, I do.
Thanks.
I printed it out and I put it in my office. I said, okay, they speaking it into existence. But even though I think I'd be worth more than that, but still.
So you think NFL players should get paid more, less, or you think they're compensated?
And guaranteed.
Okay.
And guarantee health care.
Because that's my argument always. Okay, they pay the players less, but you know where that extra money goes? To the owners. It's not like they're just going to give it to charity.
Look at the 30 for 30. I want you to watch. Look at the 30 for 30, right? And I want you to watch there. I want you to watch it and see the number one reason why NFL players go broke when they get out of the NFL. And it's usually 2 years of leaving the NFL that they go broke. And one of the you know what the number one reason is?
Financial literacy.
Is it Paul Pierce?
It's medical
Strippers?
bills.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Clearly.
medical bills. It's number one. The number one reason why NFL players go broke, and this was the last statistic that I read, and that was off the 30 for 30, is that the number one reason is they go broke because of their medical bills. Number two is family.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you say no to Uncle Joe?
No,
who
you don't
needs an
say
extra
no.
100K?
There's no way you say no to family that's been there from day one. But what you do is you don't give them money, but you start businesses with them to start making money. But usually,
they ain't business people.
But usually, growing up in our environment and going to the NFL, you're not taught how to run a business. You're not taught that. You're only taught play football.
Right.
And that's why I have an issue when you hear people say, shut up and dribble. That's the issue. That's the mindset that they try to keep us in as athletes, as black men, in the athletic realm. Just shut up and run the ball. Shut up and dribble. That's how they feel. That's how some people view us.
I'm kind of in the middle of that.
Don't be in the middle.
I don't
Pick a
think it's
side.
shut up and dribble, and I also don't think it's tell me everything I need to know about you. At some point, sports are still entertainment, and this is the fan side of me talking. So I understand that
that's not what I'm talking
politics.
About. That's not what we're talking about here.
Okay.
That's not what we're talking
Well,
about.
that's why I'm in the middle, because when I turn on a game, I don't want to see political messages. I want to see people playing the best sport at the highest level. That's my fan interest in sport.
That's it.
Obviously, they have the platform to speak out, so they should, and I'll never turn down anybody that opportunity. But just from me, from a personal perspective, when I tune in, it's my escape from my grind every day.
But the thing about that for me is, there is never, as a fan of the game and somebody who some of these issues affect, it feels like it's never a good time for anybody to hear an athlete speak out on these issues, whether it's on their personal time or whether it's
it could be on your social
platform.
media. It could be on your social media, but I'm not talking about social issues. I'm talking about putting yourself in a position to change the trajectory of your family life, of putting people in a position to have financial freedom. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about being there for the people that you know best and know you best.
Right.
When I can go home and the people that I love can say I'm one of the best men that they know, that's all I care about. But at the same time, I know I have an obligation to go out and also be an impact on the youth. That's my purpose. So are we due for another break?
Yeah, we're about to go ahead on one last break. We're going to go ahead and wrap this discussion up in just one moment. And yes, it's a great discussion. We'll be right back in just a second.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
What's up, Mondays?
You're live, Kory.
Oh, man, they
Got him.
back to me.
Got him, Coach. Hey, you got to give us 5, 4, 3. Thanks, Alex.
It was so crazy.
Did he see you?
I'll take the L.
Take the camera to the booth. Take it to the booth.
Uh-oh.
Take it to the
Alex
booth.
catching the heat.
Alex, did you get him the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Did you give him that?
I did.
Out loud?
Not out loud.
Did he see it? Or was you looking in his eyes when you were doing it? Put the camera back on you now. Don't try to take the camera. Was he looking at you?
I guess not, no.
And you gonna put the camera right on him?
Yeah.
All right, this is Alex 2.0. I got Alex 1.0 yesterday. I had to get on him.
Hey,
but he's coming around now.
Listen, Alex is the quarterback that's going to throw the ball to the spot, whether you're running the right route or not. And Kory was not running the right route, but the ball went to him anyways.
He got hit right in the nads.
Right.
Damn. But yeah, we're continuing this discussion about NBA and NFL contracts, and you were going into a really great point, Joe, before we went back to the break.
What was it? What was it? If it was a great point, you
we were talking more about the shut up and dribble and how you want to help your family out.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So when you sit here and say that we don't make enough money, no, they say we make too much money. No, we don't make enough money.
Okay.
You look at the people. You look at the people that's paying us, and I appreciate the people that's paying us, but I want you to understand there's no NFL without the talent. There's no NFL without the talent, and we
see
need
the
to be paid
XFL.
more.
I mean, see any other example of professional football besides the NFL to show you that the product is everything.
These are the top athletes in the world at this sport. So for you to sit here and say we don't deserve more money as an athlete, then shame on you because you don't know what we're putting our bodies
I just hear it from like people that are, they work the line all day, 18-hour days, and it's like, listen, I bust my ass.
You should get paid because you just work out and you run. You don't understand how much film time. You don't understand how much studying we're doing. You don't know how much effort we have to put into to work on our NFL, to work on our football IQ. You don't know what we're doing off the field. It's people back in the day. My godfather fought in that strike. What was that? 19 when they had the NFL strike.
NFL strike, okay.
The NFL strike, where you had players who were playing these long seasons when they had these long training camps. It was brutal. And then when the season was over with, they had to go work a 9 to 5 with broken bodies,
right,
to try to make a living, and then go back and do the same thing the next season and was getting paid breadcrumbs.
Right.
It's not fair. So
it was some NFL strikes, and just list a couple off so you can say which one it was. It was one in 74, 82, 87.
80. It was 87.
Okay. The 87 strike lasted 24 days, forced the season to be shortened to 15-game season.
Yeah. What was the other strike after that?
The strike after that was the referee lockout in 01.
No.
Man, we saw that how that winded up for the Lions in Seattle with that damn fake refs. Oh my God, they were brutal. And honestly, like that's another thing that I don't get about the NFL. These refs are part-time employees. Like they're not going to bring them on full-time. So the way they won't take care of the players, they don't take care of the refs, which control a lot of the game. And these guys should be dedicated NFL refs that's all they do, but instead it's like, oh well, this guy was just at an NCAA game last week and now he's an NFL ref. But you saw it once they brought in those replacement guys, just how bad it could be.
Yeah.
Do you like refs or not? Joique?
I guess that's a no.
That is a no.
I don't like. Listen.
Well,
listen. When I played for the Lions, I didn't like the refs.
I was just gonna follow up with that.
When I played for the Saints and I played for Chicago and I played for Philly, I had no issues with them. The coach,
that's funny you say that. I was gonna say that's exactly what TJ Lang said when he was with the Packers. When he was with the Packers, blocking for Aaron Rodgers, same technique, everything, never a holding call, never anything. When he came to the Lions, same technique, multiple holding calls in one game. Just because he was on the Lions. And this is twice I'm hearing it from players, which, damn, I hate that.
I didn't even know TJ Lane said that.
No
idea. That's the definition of my interview, which I wish you could bring up, is the Detroit versus everybody interview after that Dallas Cowboy game. We mean that wholeheartedly when we say Detroit versus everybody. And I'm not gonna lie, Detroit football is king here. Football is king here. And so when we say Detroit versus everybody, we're talking about not only the city, but we're talking about the Lions. It's what it is. If I'm wrong, you tell me if I'm wrong.
No, dude, I've watched it my whole life. Like, I can go back. I mean, everything from Wagner punching the ball out of the end zone, Calvin's no catch. I mean, Jesus.
Listen, and then we can't
Aaron
say
Rodgers
anything.
Face mask.
Golden Tate's 10-second runoff.
The 10-second to lose.
That's the one that hurt me the most. The Rodgers just like I was broken.
Listen, we almost had you remember that Cowboys game we had when we were here? When staff, when Nine was screaming at Riley, Riley, telling him to get him. And so when he dove over the top and scored the touchdown, but they went back and reviewed it. It was 13 seconds left, and they were going to do a 10-second runoff and then run that 3 seconds off. So we had to be on the line, ready to run the next play by that 3 seconds.
Right.
And luckily we did score. But what people don't know, the next play was actually a dive to me right up the middle. It was right. So even though he scored, I wish he didn't score because I want to get in the end zone. That's a selfish. That's
glory.
That's selfish me talking. But you know, humble. Joique. I was happy he scored. I
was one of the first guys over there.
Yeah, I was. I ran off the side. I was hyped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was very yes. So it was a good time. It was a good time. But, like, truly, Detroit versus everybody.
That just sucks to hear as a Lions fan to know that, like, it's even known by the players, like, oh, shit, we got to play extra careful today because these refs are going to dick us whenever they can.
And then players don't realize that until they come here. And then they come here, then they feel the same, and they see it firsthand.
So what can we do to change that culture? Win? Is it just as simple as
refs.
becoming a good team and winning
Is
constantly?
Is it refs? Are we not paying like what's going on?
I personally think
I don't know
that
what it is.
I personally think it's the coach. I have not seen any of these coaches get mad enough about these
Schwartz?
calls.
Yeah, Schwartz.
I mean, besides Schwartz.
What are you talking about? Have you not watched
the
Schwartz?
the past couple, like Matt Patricia don't really say nothing. Jim Caldwell love him, but
it doesn't matter. Even what Schwartz did, that's not going to help.
I like that about Caldwell is that he was the calm in the room. Like let the team be out of control, but when it comes to the leader, like look at me, I'm the guy that can center you.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I'm sure behind closed doors, Caldwell was not just a calm, quiet guy.
No, he was. Coach Caldwell was a man that you wanted to play for, and you wanted to have success because you didn't want to let him down.
Right.
He wasn't the coach that you feared. He respected you like a man, and he held you to a high standard. And if you look at a head coach, when you look at a head coach of a football team, all right, they usually say the best player on your team is going to resemble your head coach of your team. Calvin and Coach Caldwell had a similar mindset, and they say that the team mentality is going to also follow the head coach's mentality. Coach Caldwell was a disciplined coach. He was a calm coach, and he always thought before he acted. And so when you look at the team, you can look at the penalties that we would have when we were with Jim Schwartz versus the penalties we would have as a team with Jim Caldwell.
Right.
And these are stats and these are facts. Go look at it. Go look at it.
But honestly, when we hired Schwartz, that was the type of guy the locker room needed because we were so beat up. It was the team just didn't have the energy. So you need a rah-rah guy, like similar to Campbell now.
Man,
like
I think Schwartz
days.
is the kind of guy that needed the Lions needed for the fans to be able to rally back around.
And just a team.
We don't need no rah-rah.
You don't?
No.
Really?
Oh, that's for y'all.
Is that for video? Like, that's for movies?
y'all. We are professionals. It's cool. But we ready. You know what I'm saying? We ready. You know what I'm saying? But, I understand the energy that we need to have on the sideline.
Right.
And the energy comes not from talking. It comes from the plays on the field and having that momentum. One thing that I realized, I didn't realize that when I played, when I ran the ball, and I was a hard runner.
Yes. You're a beast, bro.
I was a hard runner. And that was my MO. I'm going to run hard, I'm going to break tackles, and I'm going to fight for that extra yard. Right.
Truck stick, baby.
And I remember it was 2013, we were playing the Patriots in preseason, and I had a run down the sideline where I ran a guy over, I spent off a tackle, and then ran another guy over on the sideline, but I stayed up. And the hardest hit I took was Nick Fairley running over to me and throwing his shoulder into me. I said, God.
I love Nick Fairley, man.
Right. And so after the game, he came to me. He said, "Man, when you run the ball, that gets me so hyped. I love when you." It wasn't, and I'm sorry, it wasn't after that, but it was after we came off the field. He said, "Man, I love when you run the ball, man. That's what we need." And I didn't know that they got so much energy off me running.
Oh hell yeah! Just like you get energy when they pound a quarterback.
Right. And I get energy when they do. And I didn't realize how. And when that happened, we fed off each other the whole year, offense, defense. When they make plays, we'll make plays. And then when we get to your position group, whenever Reggie Bush will make a play, I got to go make a play now.
Right.
And then we'll feed off each other the whole game. And then it was to a point to where, okay, I'm not having a good game, Reggie will step up. And Reggie's not having a good game, I will step up. It was never a time to where we were both just down. You know, like one of us had to step up. And that's how it was on the team that year. And I think that's why we had so much success, because of the competition we had off of the field, right? Not just on the field, but we had competition off in the weight room.
Right.
Running, you know.
Can you name some of them competitions? Or is it
whether it was team, I'll tell you this. We'll have a thing every Friday called the gun show. All right, the gun show. And in order to get into the gun show, you got to get into the club. Right? And so in order to get into the club, after every practice on Friday, we go into the weight room, and it's all guns, buys and tries. That's it. So they come in, you go through the whole buys and try workout, and then at the end of the workout, they have a tape measure, and they measure your bicep. And you got to be over 18 to get in the club. And if it's not 18, if it ain't 18 going around, 18 inches going around your bicep, You get tossed out the club.
Kory, we ain't in the club, man. we are not in the club.
You know what we say? No white tees in the club. We throw you out. No white tees in the club. You get thrown out.
Yeah. Gonna fall short there, but
before we get out, I got one more question for Joique. How good does it feel to run somebody the fuck over?
I'm not gonna lie, man. It feels pretty good. The best, I would say, I've had a couple good ones. I had one good one. I have more than a couple, but the ones I remember, I had one against the Vikings when I ran through. It wasn't Barr. I can't remember who it was, but I ran through him. It was a hard run too. We played the Vikings. This is when they were playing at Minnesota University, and then I had one against the Green Bay, and it wasn't a run over, but it was a stiff arm. When I stiff arm Clay Matthews in the face,
in the face,
and took him down, and he pulled my hair like a. We're not gonna go. And
that's funny because Clay Matthews has hair you could pull right back.
Right. I should have.
Soft ass.
And then the last one, probably the best one, was Cullen Finnegan on the sideline when he played for the Dolphins.
And he liked to talk.
Oh,
that boy liked to talk.
It was more so payback. I remember my first game for the Lions. My very first carry. It was on the 1 yard line. And they gave it a dive to me up the middle, scored a touchdown, and then he was the one that was trying to take the ball out of my hands when he played for the Rams. And so when he played for the Dolphins, I gave it to him on the sideline. He stood there like I was going to run out of bounds, and that's what I was talking to you about, that not running out of bounds and having that mentality. Like, you see me and I see you. You're going to have to see me now. And so I hit him, and he flew in the air. He flew back about 5 yards. I stayed in bounds. Calvin thought I went out of bounds, and he stopped blocking for me. And then he realized I didn't go out of bounds, and he ran over there, and he picked me up off the ground. But yeah. So that's all we have for today for the Baligian the Bell show. You have Stick, you have Kory Woods, and then myself, Joique Bell. Thanks for tapping in. Gang.
Tune into The Hook, 3 p.m.